Okay, here we are again, and conversation trending on here, right here, Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Yes, we'll give you an audio-visual radio experience that you can count on anytime, any day. We say this in strong authority because we have the arm of authority, and we've got the bragging right. And guess who gave us that bragging right? You did. My name is Edward Daniel. 7 minutes gone past the hour of 9 on the AM side, and we, like I told you earlier during the newspaper review segment, that we will be asking one question. It's very sacrosanct to the conversation or the discourse this morning. Democracy or politics, which is a game? All right, are they both games? Is this how the political class and indeed see our democracy? Or can it be intertwined? Now, the APC is dismissing ADC criticism over democracy is a game remarks, right? And I should put it out there as quickly as I could, right? Because you might be questioning, where is this coming from? I mean, when and how and why did Mr. President make probably such a comment? And how is it coming by, at this point in time, as quite a number of Nigerians are grappling with a lot of things. I mean, we are grappling with so much is going on, and we are trying to just to leave by and leave through. Let's get it out there already. So President Bola Ahmed Tinubu made the comment about democracy being a game during an iftar that is breaking off fast with the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, in response to opposition concerns over the Electoral Act 2026 amendment. Now, he reportedly said, "The game is sweet only when you are winning," implying that democracy is competitive and parties should prepare to meet at the polls. All right, now, the comment is already sparking criticism because the African Democratic Congress, ADC, which described it as cynical and a mockery of democratic participation, because the ADC is arguing that governance is not a game, especially when millions of Nigerians face insecurity, unemployment, as well as poverty. All right, so that is what is going on right there, because this controversy is already becoming a serious concern. And recall that democracy is a system of government where power is vested in the people and elected representatives, elected representatives are expected to serve the people's interest. So APC claims Tinubu's comment highlighted competitive nature of democratic politics, emphasizing that there is a need for political actors to organize and compete within established frameworks. Now, historically, though, Nigerian politicians they've often made statements that have sparked controversy. most of their statements has sparked debates, just like it is doing right now. And I can tell you, and I dare say, that if you look critically at the comments, statements by politicians, it will give you an insight into what their personal ideology is. Oh, that's a fact. You are what you say. Remember? There's an adage. You are what you say you are. All right? Some people say fake it till you make it. Yeah, there have been people who have faked a lot of things and they made it stick. And it becomes their own reality, it becomes a new normal. Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks, don't you think? All right, it's facts. I'm just giving you facts. And that's why I said I dare say. I mean, in 2015, former President Muhammadu Buhari faced criticisms for saying he would crush Boko Haram, which some saw as an aggressive approach to tackling terrorism. We also had the former president, late president now, God rest his soul. He made a statement, I will make Nigeria unbearable. Oh, he made it. He said it. If I'm not there at the helm of it, I will make Nigeria. And you saw how things started to pan out. Personal ideology, party ideology. That is, if there is any, though. But what many are beginning to say is, where is the Nigerian ideology? Similarly, though, Mr. President's comment has been perceived by some as dismissive of democratic values. So let me give you a picture and paint you a picture now. I mean, just imagine that you are in a football match where players disagree on the rules, leading to confusion and disputes. I mean, there's a disagreement on the rules. So where there's supposed to be a foul, they say no, it's not a foul. It just brushed him. It's not a foul. How do you call that foul? Up until this time and age, it has been a matter of concern, where some people will say they play partiality. The other team played partiality. They were told partial. The referee was partial. And the referee now is supposed to be an umpire for the match. And he's supposed to be impartial. It's not supposed to be biased in any way. So it's still a conversation up until today. And that's why I'm giving you that football match match scenario. Because it's similar to the current situation where politicians are debating the nature of democracy. And I recall some time ago, or in recent times, family members, you have said that what we practice is not really democracy. And you've cited instances where voices of dissent seemingly are clamped down when people go out and protest. Having explored every other avenue to make their thoughts heard, to make their yearnings heard, to make their aspirations known, there seems to be a clamp down. And so we hear, the dissent voices are not given the space to speak. As much as we understand that constitutionally it is your right to express yourself, but then there is also within some barriers. There are some barriers. The expression of yourself is not infinite. It's got to be responsible. It's got to be factual. It should not be on hearsay. So that when you speak with authority, you speak with a boldness, you speak with a level of certainty. I'll tell you about a young Nigerian. A young Nigerian felt disillusioned when he heard Tinubu's comment. And I was just there at the mall. And I heard him speak with another person. Did you hear what Mr. President said? can he say the democracy is a game? No, that statement does not go well with me. The other person said, I beg, leave politics for politicians, I beg. It didn't concern me. And that was it. And, now this shows you how disconnected most of you are to matters of politics, forgetting that when the rain falls, I keep saying it falls on everybody's roof. It doesn't fall on one person's roof. It may be going well for you now, but tomorrow it may not. That's why we must take politics very seriously. We must take the style and the system of governments that we practice very seriously, because it is the deciding factor and on the grounds that our lives are being either transformed or destroyed. Because he was wondering, if democracy was just a game to politicians, is that what it is now? I mean, our guest, Comrade Gerald Okachi, is standing by. Now, he is one who has added his voice in multiple occasions in matters that concern national growth and development, as well as the prosperity of our dear country, Nigeria. Comrade, good morning and welcome to the discourse.
Yes, a very good morning to you, UD, and your wonderful listeners. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Comrade, I'm just going to put it out there, to you. It's going to be a starter pack into the discourse main. Is democracy just a game to politicians? Because it's raising quite a number of questions, and Nigerians are asking these questions. Could this be why we are seeing the trajectory of how things are going in this country? What's your thought on this?
You see, your question invites a deeper reflection on how governance works in practice. A form of asking democracy or politics, which of them is a game? Why both democracy and politics are related? They are not entirely the same. One represents system of governance, while the other represents the process of competing for power within that system. So democracy is, put it this way, that in the system of government where power ultimately belongs to the people, that is where you begin to get this popular phrase that sovereignty belongs to the people. So citizens choose their leaders through election and have the right to participate in decision making. You understand? Mm-hmm. And that is where you begin to, look at some of the principles that surround democracy, which is rule of law, accountability of leaders, protection of fundamental rights, periodic free and fair elections. So both in theory and in practical, democracy is not a game. It is meant to be a serious framework for governance and public service, ensuring that leaders act in the interests of the citizens. So whenever you begin to hear statements or phrases like democracy is a game, it begins to give a negative impression about the whole system. And where you begin to get such a thing, the place where you begin to see elections being manipulated, where political actors prioritize power over service, where institutions of government are weak. And that is why it's important to make it clear that language is very important in leadership and communication.
Right.
So, politics refers to the activities, strategies, processes used to gain, exercise, or retain power within a government system. That is where you can begin to possibly begin to look at it as a game for politics. Where you begin to see competition between parties, negotiations and alliances, campaign strategies, public persuasions, and the power struggle. So, between these competitive elements, politics is often described as a game of strategy. And in the context of our conversation today, our President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, wasn't making reference to politics as a game. The contentious language there was democracy is a game. So in politics, political actors build alliances, use propaganda, negotiate power sharing, strategically influence public opinion. So this competitive nature is why many people say politics is a game and not democracy itself. That is what I try to, distinguish the two, democracy and politics. So I think it will be a misplacement of priority. It will be because it's out of abundance of the heart. They say the mouth speaks.
Right.
So when you begin to see politicians speak, making phrases or statements with regards to the system itself as a game, it further weakens the fragile trust that citizens are holding with regards to participatory politics or democracy.
Okay, let me take it from there.
Instead of citizens becoming a players in such a situation, they become spectators.
Right.
Because that is what it will lead to.
So the democracy was to allow citizenry to become players, not spectators. Is that it?
Yes, in democracy, citizens are the players.
Okay.
You understand? But when you begin to make statements that democracy is a game, indirectly you are making citizens look like debtors. And they'll end up because the excess of participation, just like this popular ideology which we have continued to campaign against and continue to carry out sensitization against, where many Nigerians, I will not say majority, many Nigerians believe that when it comes to election, that result is already written. Many Nigerians will tell you what the sense of going to election when the election will be manipulated. They know who will win. You understand? It becomes a mere ritual without credibility, where popularity does not win you election. What wins the election is what the system dictates, and that makes it again. Where opinion puts, views do not count. What counts is what is being declared. So in that situation, instead of citizens become participants, they become mere spectators. Public policies become secondary to political survival, where institutions that are supposed to protect democracy, we set out guidelines at the middle of the movement, they will withdraw the guidelines and decide to do otherwise. So democracy loses its essence and becomes policy driven rather than people driven.
All right.
And that is when you begin to see languages like the one we are discussing today.
But don't you think that Mr. President must have been misunderstood or misconstrued? Because the APC is arguing that governance is not a game, especially when millions of Nigerians face insecurity. Okay, that's what the ADC is saying, I beg your pardon. But the APC is saying, Mr. President was misunderstood. You shouldn't have thought about him like that. I mean, he said the game is sweet only when you are winning, implying that democracy is competitive and that parties should prepare to meet at the polls. And that was, what they had as an explanation or as a kickback to what the ADC is saying. But what are the implications of this comment of Nigeria's democratic development? And does this also throw light, a broader perspective as to how politicians take our democracy? I mean, it's about 16 years, if not more, of democratic, leadership in this country. Where are we going?
You see, the controversies around democracies again can be understood better by examining the political communication interpretations and the reactions surrounding the statements attributed to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. But you must understand that in countries or developing countries like ours, citizens sometimes see democracy as a game because political allies dominate the process. Electoral integrity is frequently questioned, where you set out rules and the rules will be bent. Governance actors sometimes fail to reflect citizens' expectations, where politicians will come in public, make promises, to the citizens. If you elect me, look at what I'm going to do. But at the end of the day, you'll find it difficult to get accountability from them. So this perception can weaken trust in democratic institutions if not addressed through reforms, transparency, and accountability. Take for example today, just a few weeks ago, we discussed on this program how we, as a country today, we are running over 3 budgets at the same time.
Concurrently, yeah. Okay.
You understand? Now, it happened that even not just 3 budgets we discussed, we have more than even the 3 budgets because almost all the 2024, 2025, even up to 20, some of them have supplementary budgets attached to it. Are still running concurrent, no mind, are still running at the same time with others. So, if the opposition, like ADC, questions or criticize the phrase or statement, democracy is a game, you cannot blame them because it determines citizens' rights, welfare, and national destiny. Supporters, of course, is expected to bring a different narrative to it. Trying to claim that the competitive nature of politics within the democratic system, not democracy itself, is being trivial. The difference in interpretation is what created the controversy.
Right.
And I think it is essential that as a president, you and I now, we can express our views as we are doing so now, without minding whose us is God.
Right.
But once you are placed in a place of authority, to know once a mandate is given to you, it is expected that your conduct in public, your activities in public, your body language must reflect leadership because people are looking up to you to emulate. You have become a mentor. It shouldn't be the way we, analyze, comment on issues. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not the president today, and maybe he's in the ruling party or maybe in opposition, and he begins to make statements like democracy is a game, we may not be discussing it.
Right.
We will look it from the perspective of politics, propaganda. You can give different coloration, different interpretation to it. But as the commander-in-chief, he's the president of all the parties in Nigeria, both partisans and the non-partisans, born and even unborn. So statements that express from it is not statements that can be politicized or used in a trivial issues or that brings controversies. It should be statements that unite, statements that give strength, statements that restore confidence, statements that strengthen faith in the system, and not statements that breaks the fragile trust of faith people have in the system. So if a president may be sentenced in the manner he said, it's party coming to defend claiming that is interpreted or misrepresented. It shouldn't be the case. It should be the same person that says he can come with a subtle apology. Maybe he was, of course, we know our president is very intelligent and he knows how to manage issues. But public perception is important in this situation. How citizens interpret the statement is the key. For many Nigerians facing economic hardship, insecurity, and governance challenges, describing democracy as a game may trigger a lot of concerns that political leaders prioritize power over service. Elections are treated as contests rather than civic duties, and citizens are spectators rather than beneficiaries. So, public trust in democratic institutions can be affected by such perceptions. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So, the controversy actually reflects a larger debate in Nigeria. Is democracy about competition for power or about service to the people? That is why in my opening remark, I try to differentiate democracy and the politics.
Right.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the question is democracy about competition for power or about service to the people? If we get these two things well, we can use the tools better. If you say okay, politics is a game of strategy, you understand? Just like they normally say it's a game of numbers. You understand? But you don't look at the system itself that produces politics and begin to refer it as a game. So language matters in leadership communications.
Right.
Yes, you agree with me that opposition parties often capitalizes on controversial statements like this. So public trust in democracy remains fragile, and ultimately, democracy should never be reduced to a mere game because citizens' lives, rights, and national development depends on it.
Okay, comrade, let's put a peg to your thoughts. Go on a timeout. We will be right back in a short bit. Let's go pay some bills. This is Eagles Morning Risers Breakfast Show, and this is Politics and Current Affairs. We like to call it the Eagles Outlook. We will come back in a short bit.
No offense to the commercials. It's just that we want to see other audio. Eagles 102.3.
Good day and welcome.
Eagles 102.3 Abuja. Eagles 102.3 Abuja.
Things they happen for our community, eh?
Now I can recoup back all the money I have spent on this annoying family.
Hey, yeah. That woman own don't finish.
My dear, let's go and greet them, okay?
Hey! Join media collation and awareness to hold trafficking, MICAs, on I Wish I Knew radio drama and program every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. Join us to kick human trafficking out of our society. I Wish I Knew radio drama and program is brought to you by MICAs and funded by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Denmark.
Abuja, are you ready to play different? Welcome to IVR Arcade Games and Bowling, now at Novare Mall, Apo ShopRite, where fun meets tech and boredom doesn't stand a chance. Step into the largest VR experience in the FCT. Fast cars, ride wild roller coasters, battle robots, fight war missions, go full virtual. Not into VR? No problem. Play arcade classics, basketball shooters, car and bike racing, zombie games, snooker, foosball, bumper cars, plus PS5 gaming on a massive 85-inch screen. You got kids, safe soft play for ages 3 to 8. Feeling competitive? Play duck pin bowling, archery, mini golf targets, and outdoor bouncy castles. A perfect spot for birthday celebrations. Schools are welcome for interactive tech learning. Right now, enjoy special promo offers. More tokens, more play, less spend. IVR Arcade Games and Bowling. Visit us today at Novare Mall, Apo ShopRite. Come play the future.
right, welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Here we are again having a conversation that borders around the comments that Mr. President made during the Iftar fast break. And the comment is generating a lot of dust. I mean, you may think that comment was just a mere comment, but the comment also allows us to have an insight into what politics is all about, especially in this country, how it is played. And if we say that politics is a game, can we also say that democracy is a game? I mean, most of the time, it is some people believe that it is one has to birth the other. The politics births democracy, and that the others are saying no, democracy is what births politics. But however we want to see it, this also allows us to have an intriguing moment as to looking deeply into the mind, the thought line of our politicians, especially when we see what is unfolding in the society today in terms of insecurity, in terms of hunger, in terms of displaced persons, in terms of residents, Nigerian citizens being sacked from their community and running helter-skelter into neighboring maybe communities and all of that, seeking some sort of refugee. Even though this is Nigeria, we may not be able to call that refugee, but I mean, it's what it is, or some sort of asylum in other communities in the same country. And it's becoming worrisome because others are looking into the place of the economy. How are we even handling it? Look at the Naira dollar exchange. Look at the fuel price hike. I mean, there's a lot of things going on, and it begs to wonder, in a democratic society, why do we have to have this when the people are supposed to be the players, right? I don't know. You tell me. You've heard from the guest already. But the number you should stick to when calling is 0907-353-0044. That is 0907-353-0044. Hello, good morning.
Good morning,
Good morning to you. Fine, thank you. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Comrade Salis. I'm coming from Suleja, Niger State.
All right, comrade, let's go straight into it. Right, straight to the point. Hit the nail on his head. Let's go.
God bless you all. I want to say something about the comment from the President of Nigeria.
Right.
Bola Ahmed Tinubu. For saying Nigeria democracy is a game. Number one, yes, it's a game, because when you see the way they play the politics in Nigeria, is a game. They are not carrying people along. They believe that it's a game, because when you see why it's a game, the leaders today, all of them, they are billionaires, is a game. The children of the leaders, they are billionaires, is a game. And the poor people in Nigeria are depressed, because they know to find their way is to make the politics in Nigeria to be a game. So that people cannot find the streets, only their children and themselves. They will know the way it's going, and the insecurity of Nigeria cannot finish because it's a game. Our agriculture is down every day, it's a game. The electricity is not going anywhere, everything is down, it's black out, it's a game.
Okay.
The president knows that is a game. There is only a game that makes us depressed more and they win the game. What they are doing now is to tell us that this is a bomb to the nations. It just said a bomb to us that yes, there is democracy again. Why democracy is supposed to be people for the people and decide what the Nigerians are supposed to be and unite together.
Okay.
But now the president said this word, they divide the president, they divide the nations. Tell us that what we put our hope is a game. And that this game will continue and we cannot get it right forever.
Okay.
Because we see insecurity is everywhere. How are we getting the right?
All right.
Everywhere.
All right, comrade. All right, comrade, time will not allow now. But thank you. Thank you, far too kind. Appreciate. Awesome. Okay, all right. Anyways, I mean, the president, in fact, he said the game is sweet only when you are winning. Only when you are winning. The game is sweet. That is implying that democracy is competitive and that parties should prepare to meet at the polls. And that's how the APC is, puts it. It tries to clarify what Mr. President said. But we're still taking more calls now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, sir, Mr. Yudi.
Oh, good morning to you, my brother. What's your name? Where you calling from?
I'm Olatunji calling from Cuba.
Olatunji, welcome aboard. Talk to us. Go straight to it.
Okay, firstly, I want to first argue that it is politics that is a game.
Okay.
Democracy is not the game. It's not a game because in the market of lobbying, that is where politics came in, not to give whom it's democratically done or to have it. So I don't want to by now quote Mr. President in negative part, so that because he said democracy is a game, maybe there is so many surprise that we are expected from him because since democracy is a game, and he also said when you are winning is when it is sweet.
That's right.
So much surprise is expected from him by when we shovel that game that the citizens are the players. You know, there may be more votes. So we are expecting more surprise from him, so that if he can follow the rule of law, and I think based on what we have set down, for me, like from a formation, like the INEC chairman, there is no need for lobbying any governor that is not capable, that is not representative of the citizens to come in. That is where I think surprise will come in. As democracy is a game, and when it is sweet, you are winning. It's when it is sweet. So many, and I think that INEC there, they are not going to lobby by this time around. So many is expected from him before we quote him that he's not talking from like a real democratic, a good democratic man is claimed to be. I don't want to quote him wrong. But I want to say so many surprise is expected from him. In democracy, it's a game. Thank you, sir.
All right, so much is expected of Mr. President, to whom the cap feeds, to whom much is given, much is expected. He says maybe we might just want to keep our fingers crossed and maybe lay back a little bit and just give the president a chance. I mean, there's no threats from any Democrats under my watch. The rule of law must prevail in any democracy. Mr. President also said that. It says the majority will have their way and the minority will have their say. I am a die-hard Democrat. Democracy will thrive under me, he also says. A democracy requires a fair degree of tolerance for harsh words and stinging insults. We are out of the woods. We are out of the dark, turned tunnel of uncertainty. That's what Mr. President also said. I mean, that's it. So here we are. Comrade, here we are.
When I began continuously our president and the people that we are out of each of the week.
Yes.
That fuel is selling over 1,000 naira to the people that we out of it. That you barely can enjoy up to 4 hours power supply. In 24 hours of a day, which means that we coming out. I just gave the illustration some weeks ago when we analyzed the economic impact of this government. I gave illustration using a friend who had to use someone's 18,000 naira to prepare zobo and to hustle as a lady and make small change and return back the money. But because there was no light, that effort, went down the drain, and she was crying.
18,000 naira. 18,000 naira.
18,000 naira.
Not 80,000 naira. 18,000
naira, not 20.
Okay.
You understand? So if you are talking about the half of the youth, which means that you have for? As of today, even big companies like multi-choice, StarTime are facing crisis because of this epileptic power supply. People that subscribe monthly do not subscribe again. Once the one you subscribe gets expired, they will leave it. Because you cannot subscribe, you are not having life to enjoy it. And it's affecting even those in hospitality and entertainment industry. It's affecting it. So if one is coming out to say that it's out of the wood, you have to say which wood have we been out of. Let's leave the show of politicizing everything or playing propaganda. Those that are in civil service that are going to work, at the last 2 weeks, from one point to another point, the prices they pay have doubled as a result of crisis we are facing in the energy sector. And at the end of the day, you will see maybe they will push them to Iran, US, and Israel war. Whereas we are only producing nation, and we set aside over 400,000 crude every day for domestic use. So if we begin to hear languages that we are out of the, as a self, which wood? You are out of the wood, you are having 1, 2, 3 budgets with their supplementary budgets working at the same time. None of them could boast of completion. By 2027, we will join it to what we are already running. So which wood, in practical, which wood have we been out of?
Okay.
Let's just get back to what we are discussing, my friend, because sometimes you hear language, you see that this is pure deception. As of today, it's important we separate politics and democracy. Democracy is all about service rendering. It's all about governance. There's no way you can begin to put governance as a game. You can talk about politics to be a game, yes, because of competitive nature of it. You compete for power. In democracy, you don't compete in democracy. It's when you must have finished with politics and the power is given to you. You start to deliver governance. You don't begin to say the governance you're supposed to deliver to people is a game. Let us understand it. Let us separate it.
Okay.
Perhaps our president may have it in mind that you want to say politics is a game. You can understand it, you can pardon him. Not saying that democracy itself, that is the system, is the game, no? It's never a game.
Okay. Okay, comrade, let's put it back to your thoughts. Let's look into a couple of messages right here. This one says, good morning, Udwa. Good morning to you. Democracy is not a game. It's a passion to serve a people who trusted their down-thrown integrity. Okay, no politician should be trusted. Many of them can change like chameleon. Imagine our so-called president. No, come on, you don't say so-called president. This is a president making this kind of statement to millions and billions of followers. There are things I see in Nigeria that in my secret place I shed tears. Nigeria is tearing down. This is not the Nigeria we dreamt of. This is not democracy we trusted from the beginning. The electoral process can't be thwarted. That is why many Nigerians don't believe in democracy any longer. When you say 4+4 while you are occupying the office, you are already telling us that even if we vote you back or not, you are staying, and that's already a dent in democracy. May God continue to help Nigeria. Lorenzo de Capinto is in Cuba right there. Okay, Lorenzo, thank you. I see this one here. This one here says... Okay, Emmanuel Chori, thank you for that. I don't think the message for here. Samuel from Kuje now is saying greetings to you too, and to the guest. UD, may the Lord, okay, who remains Jehovah Rapha, equip you with good health, okay? Thank you. It says, my brother UD, Nigerian political elite are playing with our collective intelligence. From the statement of the president, we can now understand why he is playing with the lives of Nigerian masses. And because politics is a game, according to the president, we can see that the masses are the ones on the losing side and the political leaders are the ones on the winning side. Now I can understand why we are where we are in this country. No wonder people are dying of hunger, insecurity, hardship, high cost of living, and president is busy flying in the air from one country to another with nothing or with a little or nothing to show for it. Please, can someone tell president and the politicians in this country that the masses are suffering because we are tired of the games they are playing with our lives in this country? Enough is enough, please. It says that emphatically. Thank you. Remain blessed. You too. Okay, I'll take this one and we'll get back with the phone lines. This one here says, it's coming from Oganamana Austin, Angwang Adamu, Nasara State. It says, we are making a mockery of democracy in Nigeria. Democracy is just in the lips of those in government, not in practice. The executive arm of the government has pocketed the judiciary and the legislature. There is no principle of separation of powers where there is check and balance. The legislative arm of the government is always dancing to the tune of that of the executive, likewise the judiciary. A situation where the executive arm would always say to you, go to court if you are not satisfied with the result of the election, knowing fully well that the judiciary is being bought by the executive to deliver judgment in its favor. All right, I'll get a mano right there. Well, you can also keep the calls coming through. The number is open for you, 0907-353-0044. That is the number to call. Stick to that number and let's have a conversation. In view of Mr. President's comment, he said something. He said that the game is sweet and only when you are winning. All right, and APC has tried to explain it to us that it implies that democracy is competitive and parties should prepare to meet at the polls. But coming to sparking criticism from the African Democratic Congress, they described it as very cynical. They describe it as a mockery of democratic participation. I mean, the ADC is arguing that governance is not a game. It is not a game, especially when millions of Nigerians are indeed going through hardship. I mean, we're going through tough times in this country. But then again, some would want to say there's been some safety nets that Mr. President has put in place. One of such that is reputable will be the CNG conversion centers. I think about 100,000 now, CNG. Okay, so convert your cars, convert your vehicles, get a CNG right there, and it will help cushion the effect of the U.S.-Iran war, U.S.-Iran and Israel war going on right there. I don't know. Comrade, I mean, as the president...
Here we hear, when I don't want to use mislead Nigerians or maybe give us information that the removal of fuel subsidy will, improve a lot of things for us. And
but it has improved. It has improved. Comrade, it has improved. We have more monies now. More monies in our coffers. It has.
And we borrowing more than what we sometimes. Usually that's another topic for another day.
Okay.
So part of the things is that they told us that fuel subsidy benefits only the big men, the rich. But when it was removed, the poorest of the poor that trek with their legs suffer it even more than those that have bicycles. They told us that they will convert a lot of vehicles to CNG, and in that conversion, it will reduce the price of transportation. This is more than 3 years down the line, up to 3 years down the line. You do agree with me that rather than seeing reduction in GP, we are seeing a surge.
But comrade, there are CNG buses or cabs that are still running in this country. The only issue that I'm concerned the Nigerians have is we've not seen reduction in price.
That is what we are saying now.
Right, okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If you are telling us, okay, just like somebody talking about conversion to CNG, has it reflected in the economic purchasing power of the citizens? It needs to reflect. If, for example, before you remove fuel subsidy, from point A to point B, people are paying 200 naira as DP. And you remove subsidy, people are now paying 500 naira, and you are bringing CNG, maybe to bring it back to 200, at most 250. You will say, okay, you give thumbs up to it. But even if you convert to CNG, people are still paying 500. So what is the essence of it? These are the questions you ask.
Okay.
If you convert to CNG, will you reduce the suffering of the people? The transport hike that we are facing in almost every sector, will you reduce? It was recent that a young lady was nearly attacked in Lagos because of the transport crisis. And good enough, as a responsive government in Lagos State, they responded by providing buses. Here in Abuja, we are having crisis with regards to transportation. You can hardly see government-owned buses working effectively. So if we have CNG buses, they're supposed to work 247, and that 247, it will reduce the sufferings of the people.
But aren't we also, pointing blames to the wrong person? And why am I saying that? Maybe not entirely the wrong person, but we have a Minister of Transport. Don't we have it? And he's supposed to be looking into matters like this and making sure that
No, UD. Minister of Transport is not in charge of the transport sector in FCT.
Oh, okay.
Transportation in FCT has its own secretariat, which FCT minister is in charge of. Minister of Transport is not in charge of state-owned transportation systems like Lagos or any other state. The governor in that area is in charge of their transportation. That's why from time to time you can see state-owned transport companies, either in ferries, that is on sea or river, or on the road, on air, like we have Akwa Ibom Air or thereabouts, Enugu Air and the rest. That's because state governments invest in those projects with the aim of cushioning the effect of constant hike in prices that the citizens of that state are facing. So it has nothing or whatsoever to do with Ministry of Transportation, no. It's the work of the FCT minister. So let us put it clear.
But don't get it.
If we begin to use, let me
take you back to 2025, because we saw where the Minister of Transportation, Senator Said Ahmed Al-Khali, sometime in 2025 now, I think I can't replace the month, but he came out and announced a sweeping reform across the nation's transport sector. Sweeping, and that is aimed at positioning the country for global competitiveness and sustainable development. And it was basically about unbundling of the Nigerian Railway Corporation, NRC. He said it was on the way, and operational efficiency, service delivery. Where is the railway situation now? So we cannot just bother on CNG alone. Understood, understandably so. We have the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike. But what is Said Ahmed Al-Khali doing with railway? How long has it been now? We've not had a functional railway, and we have a Minister of Transportation, and is sitting there in the office, just sitting there, like I don't know.
It's not just Minister of Transportation with regards to railways that is, domicile, or I don't know how to put it, that is not even working or functioning. You look at almost 70% of the ministries that are not working. Today we have a Minister of Power that in some posts on the street, they maybe refer him as the Minister of National Grid Collapse. That under his watch, there have not been improvements with regards to, in fact, the only improvements we have under his watch was the breakdown of power distribution to band A, band B, and band everything. That as today, we don't even know whether we are in band Y or band Z. Because even those in band A cannot even boast of even 10-hour power supply. And those in band A are supposed to be classified with those in the dealers. But dealers have just announced that they are moving away from national grid to solar. Those who are just recently we saw the governor of Edo State joining citizens of Edo to protest for lack of power supply. People that you are supposed to carry out your protest to do the work are joining you. So it's not just transport, it comes across.
So comrade,
that's why they say that this gets working from the head.
Yeah.
Once you have leadership that is not reactive, but proactive, that is committed to what it is, shouldn't be a situation where I will tell you one thing and I'm doing another thing. You are seeing me doing what I'm telling you.
Okay.
A lot of this will be good.
So, comrade, I know time has I didn't even notice that time has gone far past. But then, in a nutshell, are you saying that this is only a reflection that democracy is indeed a game in Nigeria? Is that what it looks like now?
The point is, the can never be a game. It's about service to the people. That is what we are trying to. What I'm trying to present here.
Okay.
So, if in the mind of the president he sees democracy as a game, then it's unfortunate for the citizens.
All right.
And no wonder we are facing what we are facing, because if he sees democracy as a service to the people, such comments will not come out. But if he as the president, because the word of the president is very weighty, if he sees politics as a game, it's a different thing entirely. But not the democracy, the system. Don't forget that all over the world, in government and the subjects, there are different forms of government. You have the monarch, you have different forms of government. So can you go to maybe a monarchical system of government and tell them that the monarch is a game? Let's just put in that context. If you go to different system of government, those that are not practicing democracy, that are practicing maybe whatever they are practicing, you go to them and tell them that what they are practicing is a game.
Okay. Okay.
You get it?
Yeah, I get it now. Well, comrade, thank you for adding your voice. I mean, I wish we can go on and go further, but we can't. Time is not on our side, but I appreciate you, though.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. All right, comrade Gerald Okachi right there. He's given his thoughts, and you have also said your piece. I'm hoping that this will get to the right authorities, and they will understand that, look, Nigerians' life matters, and the Nigerians are saying that democracy should not in any way be seen as a game. And if the president is misconstrued, we just want to stand by that fact that he has been misunderstood. Maybe it's not exactly how he meant it or what he said. But then, again, if it is not, it might as well give you a peek into why we are going through what we are going through and what the system of government is at this time in Nigeria, with the views expressed by the guest and the callers has not been influenced by Eagles 102.3 FM Abuja. I'll be right back on the flip side of 10 with the general open banter. Don't go away.
No AC? No problem. We're cooling you down.